How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to tell you about my new favorite, more speculative stock. So this is not a penny stock by any means, but it is just about $1 billion, and I'm getting more and more bullish on this stock every single day. They came out with some news, and I've covered it a couple times this week, but they've come out with some news that I think could shift them into a new segment of the market, and I think it could expand their sales dramatically. I mean, with the stock, it's tough because it moved up 50% since I talked about buying it, and I bought in. I'm up over 100% on some of my shares. I bought in more along the way, even since we bought in last time, which was just this week. It's up 50%. So I'm going to talk to you about a recent interview with the CEO that I thought was really interesting. Some really good insights, and the video itself got less than 1,000 views. So definitely not enough eyes on this stock. Definitely not enough eyes on that video. I want to talk to you today about what Cleanspark is going to do and what they're possibly moving forward into, what can happen with their Bitcoin mining operations, and all kinds of stuff. So if you guys like this, please leave a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Please hit subscribe. Definitely do that down there. You can get videos all the time. We update on stocks all the time, so definitely check that out. Also, if you want to check out the Patreon, again, I told everyone that I was buying, and this was just a few days ago. Like I said, I think it was January 5, right before the market closed, and we're up about 47% on these shares now. I bought in at $18 or $17 the first time. A lot of people thought I was a little bit crazy because it had already moved up so much. However, since then, we are up a really good amount. We're up 115%. So if you want to know exactly what I buy and sell, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. So definitely check that out down there. And if you want 4 free stocks through WeBull, you can check that out down below also. So Cleanspark has been on a tear recently, even just this week, having a 30% up day, having a 12% up day. Over the last 5 days, we're up from, we're up 40%. So I picked this company up again. I bought more shares because it had a big dip one day, and it went down about 8% or 10%. Now, with the cost of Bitcoin going up exponentially, Cleanspark is becoming more and more attractive. So I've talked about this in a couple of videos before, but there are 2 parts of Cleanspark's business right now. And again, I'll hit on the updates in a second. The main part is a grid business, right? They're trying to increase the efficiency of the electric grid, especially with so many electric vehicles coming down the road. There's going to be a strain on the grid and on our ability to be able to push all that electricity out from electric companies. Now, one thing to keep in mind too, and something that I think I hit on in one of my first videos, is there are some states that have a difficult time because they go through like fires and different earthquakes and stuff like that can affect the grid. And that's going to come into effect here in a second because they have a new deal with someone in California, which I'll hit on towards the end. But Bitcoin hit $40,000 per Bitcoin today. It dropped down after that. I think people were taking profits a little bit, but take a look at the 1 month on Bitcoin, up 92%. On the 5 day, it's up 18%. On the 1 day, it's still up massively at 5.5%. So Bitcoin is continuously moving up. It makes Bitcoin mining companies more and more attractive. The reason I like CLSK, and a lot of people have been talking about Riot or another company, there are a lot of other mining companies, and I haven't looked into those as much because I like CLSK so much, and part of that is because they have those 2 parts of the business. The grid business is projected revenue around 20 million, which is doubling from last year for 2021. The Bitcoin mining business they just bought recently, they've been giving updates. I told you they mined 31 Bitcoin in 3 weeks. Now, there's something that I don't think a lot of people saw, and I'll shout out one other thing too real quick. There was an interview with the CEO of Cleanspark. He gave a lot of insight into the company. I do want to shout out BlockFi. So if you guys want, they're an affiliate of the channel. If you guys want, you can check out the link down below to BlockFi. You can sell and buy cryptocurrencies there. What I do is I have stablecoin, which if you don't know what stablecoin is, it's just something that's tied to the US dollar, so it doesn't fluctuate in price like Bitcoin does. But they do sell Bitcoin on there too. You can buy Bitcoin. They give you different interest rates. So I have GUSD, which pays me 8.6% APY, and it compounds monthly. So definitely check that out. You can also get loans off that too, but they give you a little bit of a bonus if you sign up using that link. definitely worth checking out. I've been putting more and more money in there. So if you want to invest in something that's not cryptocurrency, but it's stablecoin, you can invest there. Or if you want to buy Bitcoin, I understand too. But I just want to shout that out because, again, they're a good company if you want to get into the crypto space. But let's take a look at the CEO interview. And this is literally from yesterday, only 840 views. And it's filled with golden nuggets. I'm just going to play part of it for you here.
We're averaging, about 1.4 Bitcoins a day.
Okay.
We are expecting to expand that quite a bit this month. We do have another 1,500 miners that will go live in January. That'll increase our capacity by about 30%.
Okay, so they're going to increase capacity by 30%. So if you're just doing the math here, that would bring them up to just short of 1.9 Bitcoin a day, give or take. So they are expecting to increase capacity. Now, I have an email sent to them right now to figure out, okay, what are they doing in the future? Are they going to try to increase capacity? Are they going to keep on buying Bitcoin mining units? What is the point of this? Are they just going to keep on scaling as much as possible? Or are they going to leverage? What are they going to do? I sent that off last night. I'm waiting to hear back, but I'll give you guys an update when I hear about it. But right now, let's just say they get up to 2 Bitcoin a day, just to make the math easy. They're going to increase capacity so much, and even I'm making the math really easy here for me because I always do this kind of on the spot. I'm decent with math, so I can do this. But if they're doing 2 Bitcoin a day and they do it for 350 days out of the year, that's 700 Bitcoin at about 40,000 per Bitcoin. That's 28 million in revenue. And again, we're kind of averaging out. That's assuming that Bitcoin is not going up. What's happening is, and in this interview, they kind of hit on this. They said, are you selling this right away? He said, we're selling about half of it right away. So I don't know what they're doing with the other half. Maybe it's just that they're holding on to it for a short period of time, and then they're going to sell it off, just seeing like, okay, throughout the quarter, we're going to try to hold on because Bitcoin keeps on moving up. Right towards the end of the quarter, we'll sell off, see if we can get some extra profit there. I don't know exactly how they're doing that. Maybe they're just keeping some of their assets in Bitcoin. But right now, let's say that they're able to add 28 million to their revenue. I said this the other day, they're underestimating how much revenue because they're saying $10 million from this business, and we're looking at maybe 25 to 30 million. And the thing is, in this interview too, he hits on some other stuff. So first of all, he wants to reduce the cost of Bitcoin. That's where the synergy comes in. The cost of mining Bitcoin is usually one of the highest costs, the energy part of it. And now I have a much better idea for what they do. So they have software that can decrease the cost of mining this Bitcoin. He says that they've implemented it a little bit so far, but not much. They haven't had a lot of time to do this. He thinks they can reduce the cost by 30 to 40%. So right now he says the break-even point with everything, with employees, with overhead, their break-even point is about $6,000 per Bitcoin. So if it drops below that, then they're not profitable. That is a huge amount of profit. So I'm thinking, okay, if they mine $28 million worth of Bitcoin, that's a crap ton of profit, which I'm assuming they'll reinvest into the business somehow. I don't know how, if they're going to use it to increase their mining capacity or what they're going to do, but I want to hear on some of their projected guidance. But they're saying, okay, we can reduce from 6,000 per Bitcoin down to 30 to 40% less than that, so maybe 4,000, which just means more and more profit. I really like that. They're also talking about 2 other things that are important in this video. He hits on the fact that he is possibly going to sell this to other Bitcoin mining companies, this technology. Now, I think this is genius. It's kind of like the picks and shovels play. Like, there are Bitcoin mining machines. There are companies that sell those. That's a great play. But if you can sell software to make it more profitable, to make some businesses be able to do this, there's going to be a rush of people trying to buy all these units. And the thing is, there are only so many Bitcoin mining units that can be built. But what if you could sell software to almost every single one of those Bitcoin miners? My head is exploding at thinking about that. And he says it's not just about Bitcoin mining. It's about any company that owns or uses, I should say, a lot of electricity, a lot of power. They are able to work with the billing on these electric bills and some of this power and be able to reduce consumption. So basically, he says on here that if you're a company that draws a lot of power, the electric companies will upcharge you up to maybe 50%. And of course, research this on your own too, because I I could be missaying this somehow, but this is how I understand it. They upcharge you if you are using a lot of power. So he is able to decrease that, making it pretty much eliminated. Now, something else that they hit on, and this is the big thing from today. So this was yesterday, big interview, but he hits in the end of this video about possibly not just going like at a municipality standpoint, not just working with municipalities, which is kind of how I thought about this, because they're talking about microgrids, right? You don't think of a microgrid except for like, okay, a small block or something, or maybe a city, but that's pretty big, honestly. So like maybe a very small city or a block or something like that. He talked about possibly working with large houses. And this was yesterday. And then today, Cleanspark announced that they are working with a residential estate program in the Bay Area. They announced that they are jointly developing the first pilot microgrid solution for an estate residence in California. The companies are pleased to have secured the first contract under a previously announced partnership agreement. So this house is about, I think it says that it's 14,000 square feet. It's under construction. They say that there are thousands of homes greater than 10,000 square feet, where the incentives and tax benefits, along with the well-documented utility challenges, support the implementation of new renewable and resilient energy sources. This is just crazy to me to think about this, and I'm sorry because I'm getting more excited about this as I talk about it, as I think about it all the time. And of course, I mean, there are risks to this, right? There are risks to this company, so don't throw money at it blindly. Do your own research. But if they're getting into municipalities, if they're getting into like these microgrids, but then they also are helping Bitcoin mining companies, any companies that have this need at a large scale, but then also they're getting into residential business. They're working with individual homeowners, wealthy homeowners. That is just genius to me. I mean, maybe I'm overselling it, maybe I'm overblowing it. But, you know, there are frequent grid disruptions, including wildfires and public safety grid shutdowns. There are a lot of people that want to be off the grid. They talk about here that they're going to have everything off the grid for this company or for this house. It makes so much sense to me that the wealthier individuals would definitely go for this, especially in areas where they need energy because there are a lot of shutdowns and stuff. I mean, if you're worth $100 million and you live in California and work online, aren't you going to pay 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand, whatever it costs to be able to work on a day where maybe there's a wildfire or there's some shutdown? Of course you will. I think a lot of people would do that. Now, some people won't, but I think this is genius. I think they're branching out in so many different ways. And even with a company that is this small, right? Even with a $1 billion company, and it's grown so much, even with a company that's gone from a $1 stock, literally $1, and 40x from there, I still think it has so much potential. I was buying in at $18.50. I bought in at 22 or something like that. I bought in at 27. I wish I had bought more, but we learn as we go along. So what am I doing? Am I buying more? Do I think it's too late? I'm not buying more right now because I see other potential in the market, but it hurts me to see it go up a little bit because I wish I want to buy more right now. However, if it dips, even if it's like 5 or 6%, I will probably buy more. If you guys want to know exactly if I'm buying more or not, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. However, I try to give updates on here too, so I'll do that. But with this company, I think they're going to have revenues that beat expectations a lot. So if you're looking long term, if you're willing to take a risk on a company that I think is speculative in the sense that they're small, but I don't think it's super speculative in the sense that it could go bankrupt tomorrow. Of course, any company can, but it's not like a penny stock where I find it like a biopharma stock where it's either hit or miss. This has multiple parts of their business, which I think is genius. That's why I like it so much as opposed to other Bitcoin mining companies. And other Bitcoin mining companies are just mining Bitcoin. This company has so many different areas that they can branch into. They're so profitable. I mean, with Bitcoin at almost $40,000, they only need to hit 6,000 per Bitcoin to be profitable on that side of their business. They're still growing the other side a lot. This one interests me so much. I like it a lot long term. That's my feeling. If it goes up to 80 or 100, I probably won't sell it. I'll be honest. This is one of those ones where no matter how high it goes, unless something drastically changes with the business model, I don't think I'll sell it. And I have a decent position in it. I mean, I don't have huge positions in my portfolios because I like being diversified, but I'd say this is probably half the size of my largest position and maybe a little bit higher than that, especially because it's been pushing up. So I would take that into account. That's kind of my thought on it. If you're looking long term, it's not too late in my opinion, but do your own research. Check this one out. I really like it. If you guys want to see my video on it last night or the night before, whenever that was, I'll put it up here on the end screen. If you want to see another stock that I bought today, and we were up like 20% within an hour, you can check out this video here. It's a really interesting SPAC stock. I appreciate it, guys. If you guys want to check out BlockFi or WeBull, definitely check that out down below, or check out the Patreon if you want to know when I'm buying and selling stocks. Thank you, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.